Are you enjoying all the fireworks? Gold and silver are flying. Gold up $40 per ounce above 1900. Silver up over $1 per ounce above 2150. We're going to talk about what's going on, and most importantly, can this continue? I'm even going to give you a little secret glimpse into my relationship with Susie, and I'll tell you what I told her last week. But we also need to get up to speed on this banking crisis. What's the latest that's going on? What's causing this? And will it get worse? And I don't know about you. Do you ever get mad? I'm a little mad about something to do with Powell and Yellen and Grumberberg, whatever his name is, the guy that heads up the FDIC. I want to talk to you about that as well. Do we have a right to be mad about what they're doing? Plus, I've got a package from one of my loyal viewers, and I swear to you, I've not opened it yet. We're going to open this and see what's inside at the end of the video. Let's get started right now. Are you starting to feel like maybe you need to put your crazy pants on lately? Wasn't it just last week that we had a hawkish Powell, right? We were going to have these higher interest rate hikes in March, and now we get news, and this is very good for the price of silver and gold, as we've seen this morning, that no other than Goldman Sachs came out this morning saying that any rate hikes are now off the table in March because the banking industry is quaking, shaking and quaking right now. We're going to talk briefly about the latest news in that area and some fascinating facts and figures. You're going to be astounded by these 7 facts about, and we're going to call it Silicon Valley Bank. Number 1, it was the 18th largest bank in the United States of America. I actually heard 16th. Nonetheless, it was real big. Second largest bank failure ever in the history of the United States. Forbes magazine just last year had named it a financial all-star. Good job, Forbes. You did a lot of research before you bestowed that title upon Silicon Valley Bank. Only 2.5% of their deposits were FDIC insured because they worked with all the venture capital firms out there in Silicon Valley, right? They didn't need to worry about FDIC insurance, but don't worry. Grandma Yellen and Uncle Powell are going to cover everything for you. Their share price was recently, in the last 2 or 3 years, as high as $700 per share. So there's some stockholders in that company that have taken a significant hit. We'd like to thank our sponsor, First Mining Gold. They're a Canadian gold developer with 2 world-class projects in Canada. They also have a handful of other projects. When you total up all the gold in their resources, it comes to over 12 million ounces. They're worth checking out. I'll put a link to the company's website in the description below. We had Silvergate Bank that went belly up earlier in the week. They're in the crypto industry. Are you noticing a trend here? And now this morning we get news that Signature Bank, another crypto-related bank, was seized by regulators. It's the 3rd largest bank failure ever in the United States. So it seems like all these banks are associated with tech and crypto. And don't they all start with SIL? Silvergate, Signature, and Silicon. That's more than maybe a coincidence. And you know, when you come join me here in Ron's Basement, it makes my day. I'm glad you're here. And you also know there's always more. And wait, there is more, because we have more trouble brewing in the banking sector. Just this morning, shares of First Republic down 70%. Shares of Western Alliance only down 80%, and PacWest and Zion Bank were down more than 40%. I believe it was PacWest, when I checked, was actually halted. So the banking industry is in big trouble right now. You want to know why this all happened? It happened because the Fed raised interest rates. These banks had bought a ton of low-yielding bonds over the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years. When the rates went up, the value of the bonds went in the toilet. And as soon as people show up to get their money back from the bank, they're kind of like, they have a ton of unrealized losses on their balance sheets, okay? It's big, big trouble. And it's not just these banks, it's all the banks have a ton of unrealized losses. During the great financial crisis, they changed the accounting policies. It was called mark-to-market. They no longer required these companies to mark-to-market things like bonds and other things that they claimed they were going to hold to maturity on their balance sheets. So the whole banking industry is sitting on a tidal wave of unrealized losses. This is the first crack in the dam as a result of the United States Federal Reserve's most aggressive interest rate hikes in history over the last 12 months, right? We went from like 0.5% to 4.5%. It's not a record all-time high interest rate number, but the speed at which it was done is a record, and now we're starting to see the consequences. I still want to share with you what I am really mad about, and we're going to open this present from Jeff a little bit later. But first, let's talk about gold and silver. Number one, I told Susie last week, I swear on anything, and you can even ask her in an email because her email address is always in the description of the videos. I told her, I said, the next time gold gets above 1900, 2000, that's the time when it's really gonna fly.
Liftoff of Space Shuttle Atlantis, a final visit to enhance the vision of Hubble into the deepest grandeur of our universe.
We already had a bunch of supportive factors in place for the price of gold and silver, and this quaking that we're having right now in the financial systems is likely the catalyst to push us up towards new record highs. That's my prediction. I'm often wrong. Don't make any financial decisions based upon what I share with you. If you've done that in the past, you may have lost significant amounts of money. But nonetheless, what am I mad about? Maybe you're mad about this as well. But over the weekend, when I read about this joint statement from the Fed and the Treasury and the FDIC that, oh, don't worry, we're going to make everybody's accounts whole, right? Only 2.5% of the deposits at Silicon Bank were covered by FDIC insurance. And we couldn't let these companies that were, I'm sorry, but dense enough to put all their money in there and know that it's not insured, we couldn't let them learn a lesson, right? And here's what makes me mad. If you're a plumber or you're anything in this world, right? If you make bad financial decisions, if you make bad money management decisions, guess what? Nobody bails you out. You got to live with it for the rest of your life, right? Maybe for a decade, maybe for 5 years, maybe for 15 years. But if you're a big company and you make a mistake, whoa, we can't let any big companies suffer any consequences. They get bailed out. And that's exactly what happened again. I know they're saying taxpayers aren't going to pay it. We're going to assess a special fee on the other banks to cover all this. Well, where the heck are these other banks going to get the money from? They're in bad financial shape as well. I call BS. Let me know if that makes you mad in the comment section below. Now let's open this package from our friend Jeff. What do you say? Showed up yesterday on the front porch. I was so tempted to open it, but I didn't. I said, I'm going to wait till I'm in the middle of the video. All right, the moment of truth. Oh, man, look at that. A giant gold bar. He said it would be cool to have on my desk. It's a replica, but it is really awesome. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate you sending that to me. On many levels, I love to connect with my viewers, and when I get special packages in the mail, I'm like anybody. I love getting little presents. It's really cool, so thank you so much. I also want to apologize to you guys. I'll be honest with you. Starting about 5 o'clock yesterday, something went wrong in my sinuses and my eyes. My eyes may look a little goofy to you today. I've had like the worst headache. I even took a couple Tylenol, and I never take Tylenol this morning. It's helped a little bit, but if I seem a little off, It's because I am, but I have made a commitment to myself and to my viewers to put out a video every day. So I got down here and booted up and got to connect with you. So I appreciate you joining me. I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you next time.